Sup, beautiful people? Playing Turok Dinosaur Hunter? Yes, I am. Restarting from scratch because I had to delete the 3 videos that I had of that game, and unfortunately the progress as well. Because unfortunately of copyright claim, because the music itself has been claimed by Darren Mitchell. Darren Mitchell has been the composer of the game itself. The problem is that most people thought they were getting trolled because the name itself doesn't feel legit. Basically, it was TuneCore who was doing it on behalf of a user. Well, not a user, but it says it views itself as a company. But this is called "This Is Not Yours." I think it's what publishers CDs. That's what it goes. And if you Google it, you'll realize you can only find it in one spot, and that's basically in CD Universe. Because that's where he sells the MP3. Yes, that's right. And when you check his website, he's just selling MP3. And unfortunately, as you know, at this point in time, it feels shitty because let's face the fact, if you want it, you could just rip the music off and make it look like you're selling it for yourself, and that's it. That's why it looks so fucking shitty. So I had to make sure and look around and to see if I could find some information about it, and I did. Fortunately, it was by Darren Mitchell's very own account, Facebook account, I think it was. And I asked, perfectly, that I wanted to know if the claims were legit, who owns the rights of the music, and if he knows if this is not yours. And he told me that this is something he did, and that the claim is legit, and that's what he did, because I assume he was able to retain the rights of the music the compositions of the game soundtrack itself, and that's the same thing for Turok 2 Seed of Destruction. Was it Seed of Destruction or Seed of Evil? So unfortunately, as much as there's great soundtrack at all, I have no choice but to put it, to 0. The first soundtrack of Turok Dinosaur Hunter is not that great, but the second, Turok 2, was basically in itself, and especially I think there was one specific change that is well received in terms that the track itself. The only way to counter it, I would assume, is basically like if someone were willing to freely make remix tracks for these Turok games and send it to Night Dive. I think that's the guys who basically we work it, and just be able to having the ability to exchange those tracks. I don't know. At that point in time, the claims would not be legit anymore. If the compositions, even if it's a remix or a remastered version of those tracks, as long as it's not done by him and the tracks itself is completely done, totally redone with your own instruments and stuff. At this point in time, I don't think you can claim them. But anyway, at that point in time, no one has done that. It hasn't been done. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep the music at 0. I did also send I did repost a reply for what he told me with the reply he gave me. And I told him, you should probably go for a username that sounds more professional, because this is not yours. Sounds really shady, and people feel like they're getting trolled. And it really doesn't help at all with the situation that's happening with Alex Maurer. There's a lot of YouTubers who are on edge, and the thing is, there's a lot of YouTubers who nearly lost their channel because of her. And like I specifically says, this whole thing is about to be taken to court, and the whole copyright thing. The thing is that this mayhem that's happening right now with Alex Maurer is unfortunately was predictable, because that's how flawed the YouTube system is. The copyright YouTube system is basically just, it has only one-sided punishment, and unfortunately the punishment is always the one who gets accused of copyright infringement. So unfortunately, the YouTuber always has to fight back, and if he fails to fight back, he might get accused of being fraud. And if that happens, you lose your account. No strikes are out. No strike, you're out. It's automatic. But what about the person who initiates the claim? If he initiates a false claim, what kind of punishment does he get? As far as I know, he doesn't get anything. He doesn't get blacklisted. He doesn't get banned for initiating kind of DMCA. I mean, the only entity, well, the only company that I've seen that's actually put his foot down when it comes to those DMCA's complaint was actually Valve. Yeah. Because remember, Alex Maurer has been initiating some copyright strike, some DMCA strike on games like River City Ransom Underground, which is basically either a remake or a complete sequel or something like that. But it feels like completely new. And I've bought the game, and I'm hoping I'll get a chance to play. But with the whole Alex Maurer situation, even if I remove the music, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a copyright there. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a DMCA strike. So I'm going to have to wait for a while until the whole thing is settled in court. And hopefully it's going to be the Supreme Court, because I feel like the lower court is not going to be sufficed. And like I said, Valve Steam put his foot down, because she's been initiating DMCAs at River City Ransom so it can be removed. And the thing is that Valve Steam said no. I'm saying Valve Steam because I'm not sure if it's Steam or Valve directly. Because I always assume like Steam, even though the Steam is part of Valve, it's like a separate department. So, yeah, they put their foot down. She views it like some sort of hiccup, or, it's because of like a Sid Alpha or Jim Sterling or anyone else who's been, covering this chaos. And the thing is that I think the reason why it's not going through is because, unlike YouTube, Valve actually checked to make sure that those DMCAs are legit and it should go forward. Basically, they review it. I know for a fact that it's probably impossible for YouTube because of the stack amount of videos they have on their website. I mean, if you're capable of gathering every single YouTuber that exists in that website and calculate how much, and also be able to get their exact numbers of videos that they post, and then make a total of it, it would just tell you exactly how many videos they have on their website. It's ridiculous. In a lifetime, it would be impossible to calculate all of them. It's ridiculous. Even the sheer numbers of YouTubers that are on that website must be ridiculous as well. But anyway, enough of my rant. Let's do some training. I need to adjust sensitivity and shit. Alright. I'm using a controller for this. Too bad I couldn't. It's too bad there's not a PC version of the N64. I still remember the fucking control on the N64. It's ridiculous. I remember they didn't even use the analog stick to movement. They used actually the C pads, which were actually the yellow buttons that were considered like C. If you had the GameCube controller, it was now the second analog stick. But on the N64, they were like directional buttons, secondary directional buttons. And when you play an FPS game, you were actually using it. What was it? You were actually using the directional buttons, to move around, and the analog stick would serve to look around. And I still remember the fire button was Z. I think jump was R. You could switch. You could basically switch between weapons and whether you're sprinting or either you're running or walking with the D-pad. This feels too slow. So yeah. So the D-pad, if I remember, left and right, I think it was. Or maybe, no, wait. Jumping was R. There's no crouch. I think the switch was actually A and B. Yeah, because there was A and B in there. I think that's the switch of weapon. That's where it was. And the D-pad was actually serving as... I think it was changing sprint. But I think one of... What is it? Up or down. But either way, it allows you to activate the map. Fuck, it's been way too long. The unfortunate part of it is that you couldn't switch between ammo type. Because, you know, you could get like the explosive shotgun and all. And unfortunately, not in this game. So. Okay, sluggish as fuck. Not that. I still remember there was a magazine that was the... at that point there was a contest in order to win, you know... an N64. And the question is, you had to be able to tell what you were seeing. There were pictures and you were supposed to be able to tell which game it came from. One of them was, if I remember correctly, it was Super Mario. It was Super Mario 64. What was the other one? I know that I guessed there would be 2 or 4, but I'm pretty sure I guessed them right. But there was one that I didn't guess at all, and it showed me a picture of a creature that I've never fucking seen before. Until I played Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and that's when I figured out that that's where the fucker came from. But you couldn't tell because you basically had to probably read previous magazines of it, and that was the first time I actually got my hands on that one. Probably should increase the threshold. They never released a proper game controller for the PC, at least the one I get. If it sucks. I'm using a 360 controller and the analog stick is not right. When it comes to the analog stick input, I feel like they're pretty much of a failure. And yes, you can play this game with a mouse pad. Now remember, because they did release a PC version for this. I'm pretty sure you can associate those grunts with somewhere else. Other games that use these types of grunts. Oh, the classic 90s. I miss that era. Never tried to be realistic. It was always go nuts. bucket shit, man. Can't get this one. Shit. Slow as hell, yeah. He can't breathe forever, but he has wicked lungs. I wonder if that game would do well on a VR headset. I mean, use a VR headset to aim around or something like that. I feel like it would be faster. More effective too. Try a diagonal jump. Thanks. Oh! Something's not right, because I remember in the N64 you could actually make them fall into a ditch. Like, they would not stick to that area. They would still respawn near to their, I think, either near to their initial death mark. But you could definitely send their corpse flying and it wouldn't even matter. It was still fucking hilarious to see it happen, though. With that huge ass trail of blood. But you couldn't blow them to bits. That's the sad part. There was only one type of enemy that you could actually do it, and you had to constantly fire at them with an explosive shell. And eventually they would break apart. But it's just... it sucks that they're the only one to get affected by this. Guess I'm done. Let's start. Locate the hub ruins. Use the keys to open level portals. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey shit dead. Where's the hole? Come here, you! This is probably one of the most ridiculous animation I've ever seen. Grabbing a key. It makes me laugh every time. It's just fucking ridiculous. How's that arrow? I'm a hunter, after all. Probably go with the gun now. That's right, they respawn. This bastard likes to respawn. Ha! He hit his pal. Oh, the fucking raptor killed him! That's great! Ah, yes, the good old days of enemies killing each other because it was always funny. Now the aiming is on default. The type of aiming is default. There's the precise mode where you actually have to line your crosshair directly at the enemy. So there's like no excuse to miss. Yeah, those fuckers like to respawn. Another grab chair. Oh. I should be probably careful not to yell with this type of mic I'm using, since the last one that I'm using on my headset fucking died. Which unfortunately it's always the same goddamn shit. You're using... I mean, this is sad. I think that's the biggest issue when it comes to jack-in mics, is that they don't live long. They don't last long, because if you jack it in and then jack it off... Oh, okay, that sounds weird, but whatever. I was getting shot somewhere. Some asshole was shooting at me. The health does not deplete, you know, even though if you get extra points, which I kind of like. It has disappeared. Ah! There are types of portals that have a tendency of appearing, so if you get a chance, go for it. I think there's only 2 types of stage. Long shot! I remember there was an animation that if you make the guy... He's dead, but if you keep making him fly all over the place, and sometimes it was like some rare occasion, his leg would be shaking. Like a normal nervous reaction, even if the person is dead, it's something that happens. Like the muscles twitch. Can't use them. I'm already maxed out. These things only go for the limit of 100. Or 50, I think. They're specific. Won't make a difference. Headshot. I am proud. I grab a bag so I have more mag. Oh yeah, he didn't like that. I am almost there. I am almost Turok. I shall soon gain a Turok. $250 is the limit. I am Turok. Even Joshua Fireseed says that. Oh, if you remember the cover of the N64, the character that was depicted was Joshua Fireseed from the second game. But in this, I would say in this HD version, they use Talset, which is the main character you're playing in Turok 1, which is who I'm playing right now. And if I remember, you also play as him in Turok Evolution. I think that's the name. He was about to toss a grenade, that fucking prick. Down, see if there's anything Nope. I think only the melee guy gets respawned in that section. Yeah, I think that's him.
I am Turok.
They had one specific guy doing the voice of that character, and I doubt he had a lot of lines. There's a pit below. I don't think I can restart from checkpoints, no. Let's see. That's a tech bow that I'm getting. That means explosive shit. Wasted. So there's another wormhole, but unfortunately there's like 2 of them in that stage. So everything I accumulated at that point does not respawn. It's, you know, it's done. Dick shit! I mean... Like, for giving a good example, it just repeats itself. Well, unfortunately, they respawn, those fuckers. Come on, chew on his body, you piece of shit! Fucking dinosaurs. Always aiming at me? Prick. Better save. I don't want to lose my backpack. Wait, you keep saying the hub. I guess it counts. Oh, that's right, that's what the place is called. That was pointless, but whatever. Box of bullets. The handgun bullets also affiliate with the assault rifle. Asshole. I'm pressing the L trigger for the jump. There's no aim sight. Sad part because you can alternate type of ammo weapon. You're stuck with it. You have to deplete it in order to go back to your normal ones, which sucks. Asshole. I mean, seriously? Fucking asshole. Prick. Another key grabbing. Gotta be careful when that guy fucking dies like that because you're gonna get damaged. Fucking asswipe. This one takes 2 hits. Shotgun. Yeah, fuck you. Shotgun. Gotta be careful, these bastards also respawn. One of those bricks are actually swimming underground. Slow down. Asswipe. Fucking bastard respawn. To 250, huh? I think they always jump a health pack, but ammunition would be great too. Fucker's disappearing. Back to 250. When you get a chance to save, save. If you fall to your death, reload. I'm way more accurate than you, piece of shit! I wonder if they decided to reboot the series as exactly as it was. You know, if they restarted the series of Turok the same way, you know, the whole story and with the comic books and shit. I wonder if it'd go well, or would there be a lot of people would be offended for, you know, streets being dead. Because usually the most people who gets offended by this, you know, seeing like whether you're using a character from a different cultures, is usually a person who's not part of that culture. Still gonna have to waste those ammos. Oh. I have a pretty good range on this. Although it might be because of the Oh, assault rifle! God damn it, Strike. Remember to be careful with your voice. The mic can't handle it. It's good quality stuff, but it can't handle it. Ow. Ah, the concept of saving mags. Still the same. Fucking bastards always focused on me. I wonder if it's possible to recreate the entire Turok game utilizing the Half-Life engine. Although it probably is an issue of who owns the rights and stuff, but you know, fan creation is shit. Although I would mind, you know, I wonder if it's possible also to recreate the gore that was in Turok 2 with the Half-Life engine. I mean, I'm curious, dude. A Chronoscepter. Know how to pick. When dealing with melee, go for melee. And when dealing with range, go for range. Unless you're surrounded. Another key grabbing. I don't know if they tried to go for the type of Zelda thing, but although Turok came out before Ocarina of Time. $250. You're a bitch. Fucking grenade, dude. Okay, that was stupid. I wasted that. Not fall damage. Well, there is, you know, there's an instant death if you fall into an endless pit, but... these one gives 10. 1. I thought that was a shadow. Oh, wow. Level 3 key! All keys on this level found. Yeah, they have long-range capabilities too. If they have that fucking armlet thing. And here we are. This is it. The hub.